Welcome everybody to today's webinar. We're going to be discussing uncompromised security with the industry's fastest one-use security gateway. It's our newest addition to the Quantum family of security gateways. With me today, I have Yaron Weiler, our product manager for Quantum Security Gateways. My name is Michael Greenberg, product marketing manager here at Check Point for security platforms. And with me, I have the honor of having Yair Herling, our head of technical marketing.
Pleasure to be here, Michael.
We're going to go ahead and take a look at the new Quantum Security Gateway. As well, we have a great deep dive into the architecture of all of our gateways. And before we go ahead and do that, I want to share with you how it's all made possible through Check Point. And that's because it's delivered via our Check Point Infinity single consolidated architecture. It's the only architecture that can actually prevent against Gen 5 cyber attacks. Now, we're on a mission here to secure your everything, and we've been doing so for over 25 years now. And Check Point Infinity is actually leveraged and manifested through all of our environments, our entire infrastructures, whether it be in our public clouds, private clouds, our data centers, our branch offices, endpoints, mobile, and more importantly, even our IoT. And of course, we can't forget about all of the remote access workers that we have a large increase of recently, especially considering everything that's been going on. And Check Point Infinity provides security for over 50 types of assets that involve this entire environment, whether it's what's happening with AWS, what takes place with Azure, all of our workloads, and really the IoT, so many more devices are actually being connected. What's happening in the perimeter, outside of the perimeter for our networks. I'm connected right now to an endpoint. There's security provided for this asset, as well as our mobile devices. I'm sure many of us are even connecting now via our mobile phone. So not only is it providing security for over 50 types of assets, it's powered by over 60 security services focused on threat prevention. And that's all under this umbrella of Check Point Infinity. We can prevent known attacks, prevent unknown attacks. It's so crucial that we have secure remote access nowadays. We need to have threat emulation and threat extraction technologies. IPS is very important. May not be so new in the cybersecurity industry, but it's crucial. Some of the biggest vulnerabilities and breaches could have been prevented by a simple updated IPS signature. So you joined us today to hear about the new 28600 Quantum Security Gateway. All of the Quantum gateways are actually the newest members in this Infinity architecture. We delegate our gateways for our data center, for our offices, and it's really under this consolidated architecture that we can really prevent Gen 5 attacks. So we have the world's fastest one-use security gateway for your data center. We're invited you here today to take a look at it, and it's actually providing 30 gigabits of threat prevention performance, really stopping and preventing Gen 5 attacks. Now, this is so crucial for today, really, because what we're seeing in the networks today, what our enterprises are facing, we really see the needs are changing, and they're really based on these 3 points. And that's being able to stop cyber attacks, more importantly, stop them before they happen, be able to remediate them immediately if so needed. Also very crucial is that ability to grow on demand. This is, I think, impacting all of us, especially now with everything that's happening with this digital transformation that's taking place. So many more connections happening simultaneously. Our networks are really growing full force. And I think very importantly, we need the unified products. This is crucial to making sure that everything runs very smooth operations. Now, when we need to stop our cyber attacks, it's great that we can have security alerts in place, and we have multiple products, so we're getting a lot of alerts. But unfortunately, that's not preventing the breaches. And if we have to, grow on demand, and I have to replace a gateway every time I need more capacity, not only is it time-consuming, but it gets costly and it gets expensive. And when it comes to that need of unified products, if I don't have the security expert that knows the product, let alone I could be using multiple vendors. That gets very complicated. So it really, becomes complex to really make sure you have enough people with the proper expertise to really manage all of your security products. So that's where we introduced the full lineup back in April of all of our quantum security gateways that really gives us that uncompromised security. Now, as I mentioned, we're Check Point, leader in the cybersecurity industry, and for over 25 years now, we've been doing that, and we pride ourselves in putting threat prevention first. So we wanted to make sure that we do that with all of our products. So our quantum security gateways deliver uncompromising security with the highest prevention straight out of the box, delivered with SandBlast Zero Day Protection. It's so crucial and important that it's part of every single gateway that is being used, and not just an afterthought of applying security. You may be familiar with what we do with Check Point Maestro and our hyperscale capabilities. This really allows us to take that inspiration from the cloud and have that resiliency on-premise, that full redundancy, and really be able to scale my platform on demand. We could take a static appliance and grow it over 50 times its original throughput, and we can get up to a industry record of 1.5 terabits per second of threat prevention performance. And as I mentioned, we need those unified products, and R80 is our consolidated unified management platform that really allows us to automate key tasks and really cut security operations by up to 80%. Now, to do this appropriately, we have the first year of SandBlast included with every quantum security gateway. Again, it's really important for us that we provide the innovations and the blood, sweat, and tears of R&D that they put into all of our products, to make sure that it's available for everyone. So again, this is included in every single quantum security gateway. Not only are the gateways leading with the threat prevention capabilities, but this whole new lineup actually brings 50 to 70% more throughput than our previous models. As I mentioned, we have the hyperscale capacity with Check Point Maestro and can get to 1.5 terabits per second of threat prevention scalability. And I think what's really great and unique to Check Point here is taking into consideration the power consumption. And we have our quantum security gateways 2.5 times greener than the competition. Now, we're looking at the full lineup for businesses of all sizes. Our quantum security gateways, you can see the newest 28600 for the data center. And with that, I'd like to go ahead and pass it on over to Yaron, who will walk us through it.
Thank you, Michael, for the great introduction. So my name is Yaron Weiler. I'm product manager at Check Point, responsible for security gateway lineup, including the Maestro. What we see in this slide are the two lineups we currently have in our catalog. On the lower side, in a light gray, this is the 2016 line of appliances, which we recently announced the end of sale for them. And on top of them, in a navy blue, is the Quantum lineup. Quantum is the nickname for the 2020 line of appliances we started to launch around a year ago and completed in the beginning of Q2 of this year. The latest member of this lineup that we recently announced is the 28600 Hyperscale. It is aimed for the data center segment. What we did over there is we took the 28,000 appliance, which is the strongest data center security gateway we currently have, which deliver 30 gigabit per second in 3U appliance. And we shrink this large appliance into 1U, providing the same performance, but without a lot of the connectivity that is not required for the hyperscalability purpose that we aim for the 28600, which I'm going to elaborate in the coming slide. So these are the details of the 28600. It's an hyperscale solution, meaning it is mainly aimed for Maestro application, but we do offer it also in standalone or main train application, assuming connectivity is good enough. When it comes to connectivity, on top of the two regular management ports that we have, this appliance only come with 2 ports of 100 gigabit each. These ports can be used as 10, 25, 40, or 100 gigabit, assuming you have the right or the relevant transceiver for them. There are no expansion slots for additional ports. So if these two ports are good enough, you can use them either in main train or standalone, or alternatively, as this appliance is mainly aimed under Maestro configuration. The appliance comes with the maximal configuration. There is no room for any expansions of additional accessories. It comes with 192 gigabit of RAM, a light-out management, 480 gigabyte of enterprise-grade SSD, and dual power supply. All of that in a 1U enclosure. The standalone or main train is supported under R8030 or R8040, whereas the Maestro version is the R8030 SP. In the next slides, we're going to see some of the competition. So the first slide about the competition is comparing this 28600 to Palo Alto's strongest security gateway, which is the PA5260. We can see that we are better in every possible aspect. Out of the box security, you are providing Gen 5, which is threat prevention, our famous SandBlast, whereas Palo only offers Gen 4, threat detection. It means that in order to be fully secure, you need to purchase an additional blade in order to be compatible with Quantum. The performance is better for the 28600, and we are doing it in 1/3 of rack space. It means in 1U we can have 30 gigabit per second, whereas in Palo you can have only 29 in 3U rack space. Also, not mentioned over here, we are also 1/3 in power consumption, and I will elaborate it later on when we move to overall solution comparison. And most importantly, the Quantum solution can be further updated to Maestro solution, and I will show an example in the coming slide. What we see over here is a comparison of 1U of all the major security vendors out there. And we can see that the Check Point 28600 is more than 3 times higher than any of the other solutions from Cisco, Fortinet, or Palo Alto. All of them can do below 10 gigabit per second in 1U enclosure, whereas we are doing 30. This is a one-to-one comparison on a 1U base, but let's look at a more interesting comparison. This is a 6U complete solution, and we see on the right side the Palo Alto 5250 or 5260 high availability cluster. This is a typical configuration for a cluster in order to allow redundancy within the security gateways. So in their solution, the clustering, traditional cluster solution, one unit is active, the other unit is inactive. It means that in a total of 6U, they can only deliver 30 gigabit per second of threat detection, and you cannot grow this solution beyond it. On the left side, we see the unique Maestro architecture. So within 6U, we have the upper 2U for the orchestrator or MHO 170, which are fully synced and there is no point of failure in between them. And then below them, we see the 4 new 28600 hyperscale appliances. Each one delivers 30 gigabit per second. In Maestro, unlike traditional cluster, all the appliances are working in active-active mode, meaning all of them are active and their performance and throughput is cumulative. So we can have up to theoretical 120 gigabit per second in a 6U enclosure compared to only 30 in compelling solution from Palo Alto or similar from Fortinet. It means 4 times the performance at the same rack space. In addition, we are providing out-of-the-box threat prevention, meaning NGTX or SandBlast, which is Check Point unique buoyant solution for NGTX. Palo Alto and alike are offering threat detection, meaning lesser level of security, and you need to purchase an additional blade, an NGTX blade, in order to be competing with our offering. Hyperscalability, how much can you grow the business beyond the existing configuration? In Palo Alto or Fortinet or any other vendor coming with traditional high available cluster, you cannot go beyond it. This is the limit of what you can have. In Maestro, you can have up to 52 appliances connected to a single Maestro system that in the case of the 28600 can reach a tremendous, unbelievable throughput of 1500 gigabit per second. This is 50 times more than what Palo or Fortinet can give, 50. And the nice part of it that it's lesser in power consumption. So it's very power efficient. So the overall 6U solution from Check Point is around 1.5 times lesser in power consumption in compared to Palo Alto solution. It means we are much more greener, much less rack space, much higher performance, and most of all, can hyperscale to the growing needs for any future security requirements from any organization or large data center. With that, back to you, Michael.
Thank you so much, Yaron. So now we're going to go ahead and switch pace a little bit. As we mentioned, we're going to take you through the quantum security gateways, especially the new 28600 that Yaron so graciously shared with us. And now we're going to go ahead and take a look at actually the architecture and what actually exists inside every single quantum security gateway. It's actually based on 5 building blocks. Those 5 building blocks are our hardware, network, threat prevention, unified management, and of course, threat cloud. Now, looking at the quantum security gateway architecture, what's inside every single box that we get, when we decide to acquire one, we'll go ahead and start with the first building block, which is the hardware. So what actually physically makes up our quantum security gateways? What's that plastic? What's that metal? So of course it's featuring the latest CPUs. And as you can see here, you have quite modular hardware that you can truly customize to fit your needs. You have your expansion slots, whatever you see fit.
We have and let us not forget the 100% enterprise SSDs and the second power supply in it.
Which is really cool because, even for our branch office gateways, they also have that ability for the second power supply.
Exactly. And of course, the alarm, the lights out management for the virtual management plane over the appliance.
And for those that need that maximum flexibility in network connectivity, you can take a 3U form factor gateway from Check Point, and you can have access to the highest port density in the industry. You can get up to 64 gigabit Ethernet NICs. You have up to 16 for 40, up to 16 for 100. However you want to customize the gateway, you can do so. Moving from the hardware building block, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the network building block.
Yes. All right. So first of all, when talking about the network building block, we'll talk about Maestro Hyperscale Network Security. Talking about the quantum security appliances, we can put them inside security groups inside the Maestro architecture and use our Maestro Hyperscale Orchestrator to handle all the bandwidth up to 52 gateways with cloud level resiliency on premise, and as Michael said before, up to 1.5 terabits per second of threat prevention.
Really, it's an industry record right now. I don't think to really be able to take
it's unique and
it's
a differentiator,
and to take a static appliance and bring it up to 52 times.
Yeah, the span is crazy here. Okay, with the dynamic workloads, we offer maximized core utilization on a variety of protocols and distributed single connection across multiple cores. And in RAD1, we even took it a step further and offer really impressive dynamic allocation. I hope I'm not ruining the surprise right now.
No, not at all. Yeah. And so to have that better performance that we're getting from the core utilization, we can really inspect that network traffic efficiently.
Okay, so with the network parallel processing, we offer a focused context-aware inspection and parallel processing with accelerated packet path using our secure Excel. This is not new, but this is what made Check Point the best cybersecurity and network security company in the industry. We have the stateful inspection and multi-layer policy enforcement, several different policies handled on all the cores, different cores, active traffic streaming with SSL, which brings us to the next subject.
Which is kind of like the elephant in the room, really. 90% of our web traffic is encrypted. Everybody, even now today with the digital transformation, it's even more so.
So we come prepared, and we offer full control over TLS traffic and TLS 1.3 support with RAD1 again coming in a few weeks or so. H2 2020, double the performance, leveraging the most powerful hardware and software to intercept encrypted traffic. This is true. This is super true when we're talking about performance of the Quantum Security Gateway. And of course, Michael,
our improved HTTPS categorization for SNI verifications. And as well, we can do TLS inspection based on a verified subject name, which is the next generation bypass there. So moving from the network block to, I think, one of Check Point's favorite building block.
And yours as well, right?
Yeah, and mine as well. And really, I think, really one of the initial building blocks behind all of the quantum security gateways.
All right, so when talking about threat prevention, we first going to talk about intelligent-based threat prevention, signature-based protections. And signature-based protections, we'll talk about IPS. Our IPS is used by 60% of all gateway deployments. We have vast experience and full support of our technologies, IPS technologies. And as you can see, more than 500K IPS, 500K IPS deployments worldwide, and more than 10K protections for all known exploits, cyber attacks, all the verticals, whether it's SCADA or other verticals. So with IPS, and again, this is part of the bundle you get when you buy.
It's crucial. Really, some of the biggest breaches really could have just been avoided by a simple update your IPS signatures. That's it.
Right, and second in line is the behavioral enforcement or anti-bot intercepting and blocking all the CNC communications going from the internal network to out there. So we block and intercept every malicious connections based on the behavioral enforcement. This technology is actually used to block other types of malicious activities like cryptojacking, and which is very relevant nowadays. Okay, so threat extraction for email and web downloads.
A true fan favorite, I will say.
And mine as well. This is unique. This is a unique technology the Check Point offers with clean mode, convert mode, and prompt delivery. It means that you can get the original file, the file in its original format, just stripped of its all the active content, all the malicious content, and it takes only 2 seconds to receive this sanitized file. So you can get that, or you can choose to get to a converted doc file, a PDF file that again has no active content inside it. It's a very simple configuration, and it offers really it puts the business continuity, the business in the first place.
Absolutely, with no, really no impact on the actual user. I think we
exactly. So combined with threat emulation, it offers like a full cycle of the threat emulation will our sandboxing capability will take the file and try and will determine if it's malicious or benign, and in the meantime you will get a sanitized copy, so your business will not be harmed during the process.
Yeah, and you don't have to stop productivity. I think we take it for granted how often we're downloading things from the web, how many attachments we open up,
and
from
it
the
takes
email.
only 2 seconds.
Yeah, it's amazing. Really, and I think that's also a relief for the admin on the other side, not having to deal with all the requests. Where's the file? Why is it taking forever? I can't get it.
Get a sanitized copy, and we'll deal with
exactly.
Great. Okay, so as we said, we deal with known threats and unknown threats. We offer engines for both, more than 60 actually, including intrusion prevention, anti-bot, which we discussed, and antivirus, domain reputation, anti-phishing, identity awareness,
which is crucial. That so many remote access users right now are accessing our corporate resources, our sensitive data, and they're everywhere. The COVID-19 really put everybody on this aspect, and we need to have secure access. And yeah, identity awareness is crucial.
And for the unknown threats, we offer CPU level inspection, threat emulation, and threat extraction, which we just discussed: context-aware detection, zero phishing, anti-ransomware, and many more. And let us not forget malware DNA, which will be discussed later in this presentation.
And again, this is threat prevention engines to prevent Gen 5 attacks for our clouds, our networks, our mobiles, the endpoints that I'm using right now, and very importantly, IoT.
And all bundled inside the
Quantum Security Gateways. So moving from the threat prevention building block, we're going to go ahead and look at the unified management building block. Really, I think this is one of Check Point's strongest differentiators in the game today. And your security, honestly, is really only as strong as your ability to manage it. Now, if you have a single management platform, we can actually reduce the human investment that it takes to go ahead and run my cybersecurity operations. And when you have it under a single architecture, that of Check Point Infinity, that's providing those 50 types of assets, security for those 50 types of assets, and providing 60 types of security services, you can really ultimately reduce your security spend by 20%. And we have a real customer here from the insurance industry, and they've been able to cut time on managing security by 80%. And I think what was really impressive is 90% of their IT security operations is now automated.
That's impressive.
Yeah, with all of the APIs and management APIs that you have available to you, this is also crucial in helping that productivity and streamlining, production.
All right, so when talking about our RAID or our security management, we first talk about the single console or unified policy aspects. So you can manage your security within a single rule base and enforce this rule on every gateway that is out there, whether it's reside on the public cloud, private cloud, protecting your perimeter or the branch office, whether you're trying to protect your applications using application control or URL filtering, content awareness, which is our DLP for inbound and outbound traffic. So everything is controlled within a single, can be controlled within a single rule and enforced on all the gateways that are out there.
Excellent. Now, I think, really, it's great that we, have those policy that we can delegate for our threat prevention, for our access policies. But really, I think it comes down to, if you don't know what you're looking for and you don't know how to stop the attack, how do you find that needle in the haystack?
You can just type needle in our powerful, unique to Check Point indexing on the index bar, on the search bar, and our indexing capability will do the rest. So we offer you can just type username, Bob, for example, or looking for a CVE. And our powerful indexing engine will do the rest. So with regards to real-time logs analysis and event correlation, we'll take all those logs and we'll consolidate and correlate them into events. And we'll offer out-of-the-box views and reports that each view includes different widgets to present all the events, whether mobile devices, on endpoints or the network pillar. All the pillars are presented in this example. We could look at one of the other reports for the MTA, for remote users, for video conferencing applications. Which
very popular today.
Exactly.
Yeah. And this is all drill downable, true to Check Point fashion, right?
Until the low road level.
And even cooler, I think, is all of these widgets can be customized. And I can also schedule reports, and I can have them automatically sent to
disseminated to all the relevant admins. I can filter those reports that are sent over and decide to send just what happened last night and send it to the relevant admins. This is a very useful. Exactly.
Yeah. And when we look at the power of R80, it really is focused on having that operational efficiency. We talked about the unified policy and we talked about the logs, but really the big differentiator here, which we didn't touch on yet, is that ability to multitask. Multiple admins can work in parallel without conflict. That means Yair and I, we can be working in the smart console
concurrently
in different rules. I can publish my changes.
We can work on the same rule, just not on the same object. This is like a granular lock mechanism.
I can also have multiple consoles open at as many times as at the same time if I want it.
And I can just reorg all my operations. So have certain admins work on certain portions of the policy using our inline layer. I can have like a dedicated layer for every admin. For example, have a web control inline layer and have the web control admin be able to work on that inline layer policy only.
And we have the open APIs, which are crucial. And already 40 alone, there was over 50 there. Also, with the APIs around create batch objects, creating and deleting, we've been able to reduce that time that it takes by up to 90%.
Oh, and let's not forget, in R81, we will offer also log APIs. Yeah, I think I ruined a big surprise, but
that's what we're here for. That's why we invited you. And of course, we have the best security that we can ultimately provide. And the truth is, we proved that by giving it in our quantum security gateways. You know, we looked at what we could do with Smart Event, our smart views, what we have with the inline threat extraction, which is really great. You know, being able to securely and quickly download files from the web and from our emails, and everything that we're doing with our patent pending SSL inspection technologies there. And I think the biggest point here, and I think what's the greatest about it, is it gives us the utmost flexibility for how we're going to manage our quantum security gateways. If I want to manage them on premises with our Smart One appliances, or I can do it from the recently launched Smart One Cloud, meaning I could take the same console that I know and love, the same smart console, and have it directly from the web with full feature parity.
No maintenance headaches, nothing. Upgrades will be performed seamlessly.
Yeah, when R81 comes, I'll be able to automatically start benefiting from all of the new features that'll be included there. So it's really exciting. And ultimately, when we're talking about unified management, it's really for the entire cybersecurity environment, whether it's our mobile devices that we're using, IoT, again, it's huge. The digital transformation, the amount of devices, medical devices that are being used, really need to have that security in place. The endpoints that we're using, what we do around the networks, and of course our cloud, our public infrastructures, our private infrastructures, our hybrid infrastructures, and it's all made possible through that unified architecture of Check Point Infinity. And what we're going to touch on shortly is that shared threat intelligence that really kind of makes it all possible with Threat Cloud. And that's where we kind of want to move into now, is this building block here, kind of resting at the top. It's
my favorite.
Yair's favorite, and it's kind of the brains of the operation.
Exactly. So it stands in the middle with its shared intelligence capabilities. So the Threat Cloud provides visibility of hundreds of thousands or millions of IOCs to all the gateways and user devices that are out there, using feeds from everywhere, from communities, partnership with all the major players that are out there, cyber threats alliances with all the vendors, cybersecurity vendors that are out there, and maintained by hundreds of checkpoint researchers that are trying to that perform campaign hunting and phishing analysis, and using technologies like malware DNA, which will be discussed in just a bit. And all of these provide the best threats repository that is out there. I think the next slide will
take us through the numbers.
Exactly.
So, when we say it's the most comprehensive threat intelligence in the industry, we really mean it. We're detecting over 8,000 unknown malwares daily. That means we're actually inspecting 500 million files now on a daily basis. Now, this is all possible because there's actually there's 86 billion indicators of compromise that's actually allowing us to process 4 billion daily transactions, which is quite impressive for our threat cloud there.
I think it's the biggest one in the industry.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah. All right. So as I promised, we're using this threat cloud to identify allegedly new zero-day attacks on our organization, and try to classify those new form of malwares into known malware families using behavioral similarities or code similarities. We take those and analyze them, and once we reach a conclusion that this is new malware in disguise, and it's actually belong to a known malware family, we know how to handle these kind of threats easily because the data is already out there in our threat cloud.
Which is amazing, which means I'm on continent A in branch office 3, and I experience an unknown attack. I go ahead and classify that into a known family that I have experience with, that I've backtraced with and looked for similarities. And then when there's a new attack in continent B in Office 6, I can automatically be prevented because it's part of a known malware family, which we've classified. Which really, when we say that the Infinity architecture is the only architecture that's out there that can really prevent Gen 5 attacks, this is a key piece of how we do that.
And it's all part, again, of the quantum security appliances.
So that's our building blocks. That's this quantum security gateway architecture that's really included in every single gateway that you would go ahead and take for yourself to really put your organization's security first. So with that, I kind of want to share with you a visual representation in one image of what that kind of looks like of this quantum security gateway architecture.
With reference to all the generations of threats.
Exactly, and how that process built. So of course, we start with the hardware building block. That's where we customize the gateway for our security needs. Maybe we're taking a appliance that we customize. Maybe we're taking a new 28600 hyperscale ready to go. We have the network building block, which takes place of all of the parallel processing, the active streaming that's taking place, still in Gen 2, right? And then we have the threat prevention building block that really, started to introduce, as you could see, the rise of threat prevention capabilities, what we do with IPS, what we do with, antibot, what we do with threat extraction and emulation technologies, and having that capability to really utilize all of our cores within the gateways and really provide dynamic workloads. And then that crucial building block, our management building block. This is where we have that real-time log and event correlation taking place. The innovations for Maestro, that hypersync technology. This is how we are able to scale to 1.5 terabits of threat prevention performance. And of course, no gateways complete without lights out management. And all of that is queried and shared with Threat Cloud, which is heavily Gen 5 prevention oriented. This is where we have the emulation sandboxes, where we do our zero-day protections, where we have the AI engines running. And of course, this is all shared live with our cloud, with our network, with our mobile, with our endpoints. And again, the crucial piece there too is our IoT. So with that, I'd like to go ahead and invite you to request a demo. Try to get a POC. We have some great network security demos available to you, whether you want to get your hands on an experience quantum security gateway, whether you want to see the power of our 80. Even more, I would go ahead and try the new Smart One Cloud. And go ahead and trial that for 30 days, see how that is, see how easy it is to onboard new gateways. And of course, we have demos for hyperscale network security with what we do with Check Point Maestro. So with that, I'd like to go ahead and conclude. We do really appreciate your time and joining us today.